The inner guiding light, sometimes referred to as the imaginary friend, sometimes referred to as, oh, I'm just talking to myself. Either way, how it goes, your inner guide is what's needed for you to find yourself alongside your spirit guide. Some people do not believe in spirit guides, but your spirit guide is merely a fragment of your imagination, but it can be connected to the infinite imagination depending on how much you're open to be guided. It gives hint to this by when people close their eyes for prayer. You're going into the inner dimensions of yourself, and there's a reason for that. Because when we think about the inner dimensions of self and prayer, we would have to say that prayer is spiritual and scientific. What does that mean? Prayer is spiritual because you're dealing with the unseen, you're dealing with the inner world. And in prayer, you're asking for somewhat of a miracle. And as you're asking for a miracle, and it maybe seem like what you're asking for is out of your control, out of your hands, but you know that you need it. You could be praying for someone's health or your own health. You could be praying for a bill to get paid. You could be praying for someone who is grieving after a loss of a loved one. But you're searching for something that is bigger than yourself to find comfort after you have made the prayer to the Creator, as if somebody was right there with you, patting you on the back, telling you that everything is going to be okay. You could have started off the prayer with tears, but afterwards, after you go into the inner dimensions of self on a spiritual level, you feel more comforted. You feel more assured and secured in what you're asking for. Because we know within scriptures that anything that is asketh, you will be given. Now, on the scientific part, on the science part of prayer, being scientific is the emotional and hormonal events that happen within the body while you're making the prayer or while you're searching for the inner guidance. And during that time, you could be feeling a quick adrenaline rush. You could be feeling a sudden feeling of love with the hormone of oxytocin. You could be stimulating the nervous system, repairing any damage that has been done through anxiety or depression. You also are activating the hormone of serotonin. It's the same thing when you're fasting. You can only get certain neurochemical responses in the body through fasting than anything else you can do. Mind, heart coherence, the feeling of overcoming, certain hormones that are being, growth hormones that are being secreted in the body, circulation, white blood cells being restored and renewed, but have the same memory of diseases that they fought in the past. This is why creative visualization is so important, because you can visualize your body fighting off the disease, and this could help you to heal. It has been proven to. But the inner guidance and the inner guide is what helps us to be able to see our own light, and also the light that is there to help us, that is there to help guide us. And a good exercise to do this is, if you're ever sitting down in a quiet place, you could picture a light coming towards you. of the form coming towards you, and as the form is coming towards you, you're embracing it. And then when it gets to you, you're open to what it is that it needs to show you. You walk with the guide, you walk with the light. The light is a representation of your divine center. So your spirit guide is a part of you that is in a different realm for which you can't see. And that's why prayer is spiritual and scientific, because we can see the macro world, but the micro world we can't see with our own two eyes. That is why prayer is so powerful, because of the impact that it has on the micro world. And with that impact on the micro world, we can feel the impact of these things happening. However, we may not can see them with our cognitive functions, but we can see them with our precognitive functions and visions, which is a heightened sense of power and intuition, which strengthens our intuition and our subconscious mind to be able to get these things and these messages through clearly. So since we can't see the micro events that are happening on a quantum phenomenon, when we close our eyes in prayer and we're looking for the inner guide, it immediately starts happening subconsciously, which is why we close our eyes, because we know that the events that we want to change, we cannot see them with our cognitive sight functioning, but we can feel them and sense them happening through our precognitive and intuitive abilities. We all have unlimited power, wisdom, and knowledge through our intuitive mind. Our intuitive mind is full of knowledge and wisdom, but we get that through the universal mind. And the universal mind is all around us. And that's what we're pulling from. So your inner guide is there to show you how to get closer to the universal mind. And to understand that when you close your eyes through prayer and meditation, that you're going to the inner dimensions and focusing on that for a reason. Because there's a lot of things that is going on in the micro world, the unseen world, that is actually making all that you ask for come to you. It's very important, because this all goes into faith. It all goes into visualization. It all goes into understanding that it's already done and living as if. It all goes into having confidence of a strong self-concept and having confidence in your creator, to know that the creator is within you and is with you and is above you and is all around you through expressions of nature. That's why I like to come talk to y'all and have this discussion with y'all in nature. Because the moment you connect back with nature, the moment you connect back with the expressions of the creator, is the moment that you can go into these inner dimensions and find your power and find that intuitive mind that you have access to, the wisdom, the knowledge that you have access to, that you cannot read in a book. You know, you could go through an experience of having to diffuse a situation, a bad breakup, or even having a lost someone, and someone else could be going through that, and you can express to them and be a vessel for the creator to speak through you to help them. And they say, wow, I never had anybody talk to me or tell me that before. Where'd you learn that at? And you can't tell them, because you never read that in the book. It was in the experience that you were able to give them and express to them and communicate to them the information, or should I say the revelation of the experience that you got, that came forth through wisdom. Now, I'm a strong believer in knowledge that's not attached to emotion equals wisdom. The wisdom is what you get out of a clear-sighted experience that you can share with somebody else, that is above any information. Information can just be spewed out and regurgitated, but wisdom comes from experience after you have detached from the emotion or feeling or emotional reactivity that you might have had within that time, because you had time to experience it and then reflect on how you reacted from it and give advice to somebody else on why you reacted from it was beneficial or why it was not. You can give advice from the experience on how you were guided into seeing how you could have did it differently. And this is why you're expressing it to them, because I did it this way. Now you have a chance to handle it this way. Your inner guide is there for you for many different reasons, but the key is for us to find it and to understand that it is there. And it's the reason why we subconsciously do the things that we do when it comes to spirituality. Not many people you see pray with their eyes open. Now, some do, because in some religions, some people stand sharif and stand for protection while they're doing prayer. There has to be some distrust there for one to have his eyes open during prayer. Sometimes we can talk to God while we're wide awake. But self-consciousness and self-awareness are two different things. When you're self-conscious, you're understanding yourself. When you're self-aware, you're understanding more of what other people are feeling. You're more empathic. You're more aware of other people's perceptions and not your own perspective. To find the inner guide is to find the inner God. It's very important that we understand how the inner dimensions of us go into not just a metaphysical, but a biochemical and a scientific way of understanding who God is and how God operates within you, with the unseen events and the unseen reality that goes on without us consciously thinking about it. Like right now, I'm talking to y'all and I'm blinking my eyes. My digestive system is running. I have a really good flow. I have a really good effortless flow right now because I've been fasting. I haven't ate any solid food. However, I'm out here able to communicate and not think about all the things that are going into my biochemical and quantum alchemy right now. It's phenomenal. A lot of things are happening that are not under my conscious control. Now, some will call that the autonomic nervous system. But who's controlling that? Who's controlling the autonomic nervous system? Somebody has to be controlled. It has to be some type of commander. And I believe that when we close our eyes and go into the inner dimensions of what the events that we cannot see and that we're not consciously over, that's the leap of faith in itself, of us allowing it to happen and trusting it to happen. Just as you trust it to happen automatically with your automatic nervous system, why isn't it that it's so hard for us to trust the creator to make that same thing happen to us with the manipulation of matter, or what it is that we need to happen in order for us to have love, peace, bliss, fulfillment? The faithfulness of the inner God is the faithfulness of the inner guide. This is something that is very deep to understand when we're coming into a more spiritual place in life outside of religious organization. Not to say that there's anything wrong with religious organization, because that might put one on the straight path. But there is a deeper metaphysical experience outside of what one could tell you within a book. Because as we see through the revelations of experience with the prophets in the book, and with those who have came into having these spiritual phenomena within their life and sharing it, that their experience was more of a personal experience, spiritual experience and events with the creator itself, either directly or through a message that was given to them, which was very intense. Either way, I doubt that they were much thinking about a doctrine or an orderly way to practice what it is that was being presented to them through the most powerful creation, the most powerful entity or source, the infinite source that we can even imagine. They're only thinking about how to interpret what it is coming to them. Trust your inner God, because that's going to bring you closer to the inner God. Peace and wellness to the family.